welcome everyone. You are listening to the premiere broadcast of a show called Overtones on WLXU 93.9 LPFM Lexington. I am Renee Collins, your host, and each week at this time on Mondays from 3 to 4 p.m., this show will bring you, the listening audience, the very best in local musicians, local venues, and those who support musicians and local organizations that promote music performance and education that this great city of Lexington has to offer the fans of music in this area and beyond. I am Renee Collins. I'll be your navigator for this most excellent experience we will all share together. First of all, who am I? I am Kentucky-born, actually from Eastern Kentucky. I'm a graduate of both the University of Kentucky, majoring in music education, and also did postgraduate work at Xavier University in organizational effectiveness. And I am lucky enough to be able to merge my musical and business backgrounds to carve out a really cool collection of experience and professions for myself. I own a business company called Collins Consulting Group, which specializes in executive coaching and career consulting, and I work for UK in the areas of diversity and inclusion. I'm also the co-executive director with Warren Cobb of a nonprofit organization called Room 17 Productions. I am one of the co-hosts of Red Barn Radio, and I co-chair the UK School of Music Alumni Association. So I guess what you could probably gather from this is I dream really big, and I'm really interested in talking to people who dream as big as I do. And the most wonderful people you will hear today are in the studio as we bring you this very first episode of Overtones. At the beginning of this show, we played the song called Happy Tune by local band sensation Brother Smith. And this song is my new theme song and will usher and exit out every episode of Overtones. Brother Smith is also a nominee for the Best Pop Band for the 2018 Lexington Music Awards, which will be held next Sunday night, January 28th, and that is one of our topics for the show today. The other topics we will approach this week's episode is Red Barn Live, which on this performance at Red Barn Live coming up, we have the McLain Family Band, who will be celebrating 50 years in music. You all can clap for that. Woo! So as you can tell, in the studio today, we have Ruth McLain.
Hey there.
Hey, thank you. And Whitney Akey and Ray Adams.
Hello.
Hey.
We have Chelsea Nolan.
Hey.
And we have Daniel Phelps.
Howdy.
Welcome, everyone. I'm going to start off with kind of talking about what's going on Red Barn Radio, which is a radio show that's recorded live every Wednesday night at Lexington Arts Place, 8 o'clock. And this week we have the wonderful pleasure of having the McLain Family Band kick off their 50th anniversary tour with us. And in the studio today we have Ruth McLain. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Renee. What a pleasure to be here with you and be on Lexington's Community Radio.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here. And she is here to kind of represent the rest of her siblings and band, which will be going on tour. And also we have Russ Farmer with us today, who plays with her in Southland Drive.
Yeah.
And Ruth, first of all, give us some background on this 50 years of McLain Family Band.
Well, it's a wonderful time to reflect for us on an amazing career we've had, but also to realize that it's not over.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of future still coming up. And so this year, we're going to get to do some exciting things. We have a new CD. We have a new book. There's a video documentary that Russ Farmer is producing. There is another book in the process, actually also. And then we'll be going overseas this summer and doing some orchestra. We used to play with orchestras. So we get to do that this year also, as well as festivals and concerts. We're looking forward to it. The touring band is my brother Raymond McLain, my sister Alice and her husband Al White, and our wonderful friend Daxon Lewis, who's playing banjo and guitar. He went through the traditional music program at Morehead State University, where Raymond is the director of the Kentucky Center for Traditional Music.
And you teach there as well.
I do.
Wonderful.
I do, and it's such a pleasure. It's wonderful to see the next generation of performers and people that are going to be in the traditional music industry that are so passionate and so capable. And it's very exciting.
Well, you all were with us for the Christmas special, and we just enjoyed having you all so much, and it meant so much for you to be here with us.
Oh, the Appalachian Christmas
Yes.
Red Barn Radio Show was
Yes.
terrific. It's a nice thing to celebrate the Christmas season with Appalachian music in the Appalachian region in any time. And that's one of the lovely things about Red Barn Radio is that it highlights traditional music and music of all kinds, all genre of music in this area. And it's the kind of thing that communities need, that regions need, like community radio.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Tell me a little bit about what are your plans past this Wednesday night's performance at Red Barn Radio. You are quite the industrious
Well, there are a
person.
lot of exciting things going on, that's for
Yes,
sure.
There are a lot of exciting things
We
going
do.
on.
Wednesday is the Red Barn Radio, and then Friday we're going over to Shepherdsville, to the Shepherdsville Music Barn with Gary Brewer and the Kentucky Ramblers. They have a show over there on this Friday night, and that's at 7 o'clock. And then we go over to Flemingsburg on Sunday afternoon for the Years of Farming, where the Hintons have a nice series of music there. It's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll leave there in time to run down to the Lexi Awards in Lexington.
Wonderful, because Raymond, your brother, is also nominated for a Lexi Music Award.
Yes, he's in the string category, and also my brother-in-law, Al White, and his Berea College Bluegrass Ensemble,
Yes.
also nominated this year.
That's very exciting. And I saw Jesse Wells is also nominated in the strings category.
Yes. Oh, there's so many people. All the people nominated are just wonderful this year. Excited about it.
And your band had the honor of receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award 2 years ago, if I believe
Yes.
correctly. What was
Yes.
that like for you all?
Oh, well, it's always an honor. I mean, it's always an honor, and we love every chance we get to be together. It's an excuse to get to be together. It's one thing when we were growing up, Daddy mentioned to us that it's nice to have a reason to be together, besides being brothers and sisters and family, where you have a respect for each other. It's nice to get to have excuses to be together, and so we're taking advantage of that and being together as much as we can.
Well, we will look very much forward to seeing everybody there.
We're working on some new material and some old material, so it's a nice combination for you for Red Barn.
Wonderful. Well, what can you tell me about the picture book that you all have now? And I will tell you what I know about it, because I had the pleasure of being on a long plane ride, which afforded me the opportunity to read it from the front cover to the back cover. And it was just absolutely delightful. And it evokes so many just great memories from my own childhood of seeing you when I was very young. And what was that like, taking all of that collection of pictures and putting them into one book where everybody could enjoy the same journey that you all had?
Oh, what a thrill. It's actually an absolute thrill. It took a lot of work. It's not an easy thing to do. And we went through the Berea College archives, who were gracious enough to host us and let us go through their collections, which used to be our collections, and the boxes of materials that went from the home place to the Berea College archives, they have masterfully archived. And so they're accessible, and so we got to spend time there, use some of those materials. We also went to the Heinemann Settlement School archives, because our father was the director of the Heinemann Settlement School for years, and that's where the band started. And so there were materials there we were able to use. And then there are other materials that, people from all over the country sent to us, and ones that I had never seen before, with Raymond doing a banjo duet with Don Reno, and things like that we hadn't ever seen. It was very exciting.
Yes, it's amazing to see what people have in their own personal collections as you go along one of these journeys. And I think I found one actually that you hadn't seen just last week online when I went searching for some other things. I came across an article about them that was from 1975, I believe.
Yes.
And we posted it and shared it.
And it was from the Tallahassee paper, I understand, which had gotten it from the news service of the New York Times, George Vesey, who was a New York Times editor. had written that article.
It's amazing, isn't it, what you can
Well, it is a lot of fun.
locate.
It is a lot of fun. And the book has a centerfold.
Uh-huh. I did see that
It's
too.
fold out. It's fold out centerfold.
And it's the map of all of the locations.
It's
if
a
I
map
believe
of our
correct.
overseas tours. We did, I think 14 different overseas tours to 62 different countries, mostly for a branch of the State Department. It was amazing to be in Afghanistan and North Yemen and Bolivia and places that were so interested to see that the United States had traditional music, had families, had people from the mountains, had a rural lifestyle, when what they usually see is what's on the news or movies, which is a different image of the United States sometimes.
And a documentary film is being made as well.
Yes, Russ Farmer, who has had a career with Kentucky Educational Television, doing the Jubilee series, doing Bluegrass, all the traditional music programs on Kentucky Educational Television were created and produced by Russ Farmer. Since he retired, he's done documentaries on Gene Ritchie, on Kentucky Treasures.
Yes,
Gene
one, and I
Ritchie.
watched that one the other night. It's just a wonderful, beautiful piece of work.
Another one
Russ.
on J.D. Crowe and one on the Osborne Brothers, and he's currently working on one of the McLain Family Band.
Well, we will be really excited to see that. And we're really glad to have Russ in the studio, too.
Thanks.
So, where can people find out more information about your touring schedule? And
Well, we do
also-
have a website.
Okay. And what is that website?
It would be
Ruth?
www.mclainfamilyband.com.
Wonderful. Well,
It's MCLAIN.
yes, that's important. We were going to have David McLain here today, but he, like almost everyone else, fell victim to the flu, affecting his family, not necessarily him.
Well,
but
we
he is
think
caring
the
for his
world of
family
David.
today. Yes.
And I appreciate that he's taking care of his family. He takes care of all of the music community
He
so
sure
very
does.
well. And helping with and producing the Lexi Awards
Yes.
is such a great community service. Yeah. Wonderful for our music community here. Bring us all together in all different genre, where we're all brothers and sisters in this music community and in this world.
Yes, we sure are. Well, we are so thankful for you being here in the studio, and thank you for being on my very first show. It means a great deal to me.
Thank you. Well, I wrote you a little ID spot, a little ID spot. It's Hey Renee on Overtones, on Overtones.
Wow. That just made my day, my week, and possibly my year. Thank you so much.
Well, we'll have to get it to you with a band.
Yes, we will. That would be wonderful. And I'm looking so much forward to seeing you all on Wednesday night. It's like host the special.
We're
that you'll
looking
be
forward to
with.
being
And-
with you at Red Barn
yes.
Radio.
And to find out more information about their appearance on Red Barn Radio, visit redbarnradio.com. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure.
And we will be back after these messages.